there, this is Teacher Ola Podcast, episode 133, 5 best Netflix series to learn English in 2022. My name's Ola and I'm an English teacher. My goal is to help you start speaking English with confidence and get rid of speaking barriers. I believe it's achievable for you and it's time you started speaking English fearlessly. Go to my website for full transcripts and worksheets to each episode. Happy learning! Welcome back, or welcome. Thank you so very much for choosing my podcast. I know how many podcasts on English are there, and I appreciate your presence here. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Here we learn practical things. We learn how to learn and what to learn. Where should we put our efforts to achieve the most? Where the return of time investment is the biggest? Where is the leverage? Today, I'd like to remind you that in this day and age, we have amazing tools. We have access to TV series. You can pick a show, turn on the Language Reactor on Netflix, and learn tons of useful practical phrases. I am an absolute and ultimate fan of learning a language through TV series, but also songs, TED Talks, YouTube vlogs, channels which give us a peek inside the world of English. I can't recall recommending you any book here, and I don't mean book to read. Reading can definitely level up your English. What I mean is course books. That's a big fat no for me. So today I picked 5 TV shows available at the moment on Netflix, which I can strongly recommend for learning natural everyday English. Please go to episode 5 and learn more about the method, how to learn English with TV series on your own. It's episode 5. Today, I'm gonna remind you how to choose a proper show and what to take into consideration, what to keep in mind while choosing. Wait a minute. Is learning with TV series for you? Is this method good for you? I have prepared a checklist for you, so go grab it and find out. It's in Polish and you'll find it in the description of this episode. Don't forget to download the worksheet. It's waiting for you at teacherola.com/133. You can also support my work and buy the Worksheet Set, editable, clickable, with links and QR codes. The Worksheet Set includes the Speaking English Planner, a great tool for monitoring your progress in speaking English. Now, time to dive in. Let's get to it. Before we go to a short list of shows I recommend, let me tell you something. This list I curated is short. I don't watch many shows. Of course, I have my subscription, but watching one season takes months in my case. I usually watch 1 or 2 episodes per week. I have different priorities in my free time at the moment. So, treat my suggestions, the titles I'm giving you today, as a guideline. I'm sure you know more series and feel free to go beyond my propositions. Again, treat them as your hints. What is not on my list? There are series that unfortunately are not available on Netflix anymore. The same will happen with some of the shows I'll recommend today. Shows on Netflix come and go, you know that. So series I would also recommend, but you might have to access them someplace else, are How I Met Your Mother, That 70s Show, Modern Family, Full House. These were good shows for your English because they shared certain features. They had a lot in common, to your surprise. So let's now see the list of qualities a show should have to be a good tool for you. Let me emphasize that I assume your goal is to learn to speak fluently, fearlessly. Your main focus is small talk, daily conversations, eliminating language blockade and learning everyday phrases that'll ease your daily communication. If so, you don't need a series set in medieval times. You don't need a science fiction show. Generally, it'd be frustrating watching a show with lots of medical or law vocabulary, so keep your current goal in mind. What you need instead is normal people, preferably family members, friends, or colleagues, neighbors, people from different walks of life, having plenty of conversations. You won't learn much from series with lots of action, police chasing criminals, cars, guns, sex, and rock and roll. Dialogues, that's what you really need. Technically wise, you want to watch a show with short episodes, I mean like 25 minutes or so, hence you can watch it twice or even 3 times. Let's be realistic, it really must be doable. Don't set yourself up for a disaster. Game of Thrones, The Crown, Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders, these are iconic series, but they just don't hit the mark. They can help to sort of level up your English, but we have a different objective here. So, if your favorite series of choice is not on my list, think about it in terms of your goal. Judge yourself. Will I learn everyday phrases with it? Is it short enough to make it possible for me to watch it twice or 3 times? Judge for yourself. Now, my list. Number 1, Grace and Frankie. Grace and Frankie ticks all the boxes. A single episode lasts up to 25 minutes. It's about friends and their families, everyday problems, relatable life events. Believe you me, it's jam-packed with phrases, sentences that will make your speaking so smooth, so natural. Personally, I love it. Professionally speaking, really, it is hard for me to find anything better than that. It's an American accent, but that, to be honest, doesn't matter to me. Accents are nothing I pay attention to. I do pay attention to proper pronunciation, but accents are just not my thing. I completely ignore them, and I recommend you do so too. Honestly, don't get me going. I talked more about that in episode 97, Love Your Accent, teacherola.com/97. At the moment, I work with 2 students who watch Grace and Frankie, and the lessons are based on this show, and they love it. I love it. It's not about the content of this show. Of course, we like the show. It's funny and sad and thought-provoking, but having said that, I must admit it's all about phrases. Phrases we pick, learn, explore, build on them, practice, and implement. That's what it's all about. Number 2. Afterlife. If listening to a British accent is your thing, then definitely go for this one. Dialogues, modern language, tons of swear words. It's a black comedy drama, so you might find yourself laughing at one scene, but after a second start blubbing. That's the kind. Episodes last about 30 minutes, and there are 3 seasons available at the moment. It is written, produced, directed by Ricky Gervais, who plays the lead character. Recently I've learned people either love him or hate him. I found that surprising, but that's because I love him. Number 3, Superstore. What a show, 100% American. You love the characters and the setting. It's got modern vocabulary, it's set at Cloud 9, a fictional megastore. We have the corporate structure, management, customers, employees. There's one student I'm working with right now with the first season of the show, and we can't tell you how much this series is packed with useful everyday expressions. I'm afraid it might disappear soon from Netflix, so enjoy it while you can. 4. Sex education. Okay, this one doesn't hit all the boxes. It's because the episodes are longer. They last about 40-50 minutes, but the language they're using is great. The setting, the plots, I love it. I couldn't skip it on the list. Listen, if you want to start learning English with this series, go to my YouTube channel, Instagram TV, or Facebook. It's Teacher Ola Podcast everywhere, because now you still have access to 8 free lessons. So there are free lessons, and there are 8 of them on all episodes from the 3rd season. I am still building an online speaking course around these episodes, but as for now, they are still available for free. Watch an episode of the show and then join the lesson about a particular episode. Repeat out loud after me and make notes. You'll learn a lot. Learning English with TV series. Wow, what an opportunity to grow your confidence and build your active vocabulary bank fast. But Is it really for you? Are you ready to take on the challenge? Well, check out the checklist which is in the description. Time to repeat some sentences out loud. Here we go. Today I'd like to remind you that in this day and age we have amazing tools. We have access to TV series. Today I'd like to remind you that in this day and age we have amazing tools. We have access to TV series. Today I'm gonna remind you how to choose a proper show and what to take into consideration. Today I'm gonna remind you how to choose a proper show and what to take into consideration. So treat my suggestions, the titles I'm giving you today, as a guideline. So treat my suggestions, the titles I'm giving you today, as a guideline. These were good shows for your English because they shared certain features. These were good shows for your English because they shared certain features. Let me emphasize that I assume your goal is to learn to speak fluently. Let me emphasize that I assume your goal is to learn to speak fluently. Don't set yourself up for a disaster. Don't set yourself up for a disaster. These are iconic series, but they just don't hit the mark. These are iconic series, but they just don't hit the mark. Believe you me, it is jam-packed with phrases, sentences that will make your speaking so smooth, so natural. Believe you me, it's jam-packed with phrases, sentences that will make your speaking so smooth, so natural. You might find yourself laughing at one scene, but after a second start blabbing. You might find yourself laughing at one scene, but after a second start blabbing. I'm afraid it might disappear soon from Netflix, so enjoy it while you can. I'm afraid it might disappear soon from Netflix, so enjoy it while you can. I'm glad you've made it, well done! But don't stop here. Go to your inbox and grab worksheet 133 in order to test yourself. Complete the worksheet with translations. If you're not a member of Top People, download the worksheet at teacherola.com/133 and become one, it's free. I also have the Worksheet Set. This way you won't have to download each worksheet separately. It's gonna be much more convenient to work with this podcast. All links are in the description below. If you think this episode is valuable and worth sharing, please share. Think for a second about that one person, that one friend or colleague or a family member who loves Netflix and wants to start speaking English fluently, and let them know about Teacher Ola podcast. They will thank you. Do you learn English with TV series? Which one? Please let me know. DM me on Instagram at teacherola.podcast or comment on my website. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next Wednesday. We're going to learn English with music. Till then, take care, happy learning, stay fearless, and say it out loud. Bye!